I can't stress enough how important it is that you have an antivirus program on your system. Now, if you don't have one, you can download a really good one for nothing called AVG Free. And if you do have one that you're paying for, you might want to consider letting your subscription lapse and getting this one if you want to. Okay, so just go to the AVG Free homepage. Again, there's a link to it in the resources document. Click Get It Now, and then just download the free version. Scroll down, click Download. And then click Download Now. And it's 51.2 megabytes. So it'll pop up here. Just download the exe file to your desktop and then install it. Now once you're all installed and you bring it up, this is what you will see. The first thing you should do is go into Tools and then click Update, and then let the thing update from the update server and make sure you're totally up to date. Now what you want to do is go to the computer scanner and you want to schedule a scan. Okay, so if there's already one here, you can just click on it. You can edit the scan schedule, and then you can schedule how you want it to scan. I suggest every day, but you can set it to do it as often as you want. We can either run it at a specific time, or we can do it at computer startup or computer shutdown, however you want to do it here. Okay, so you can set that first. Then the next thing you should do, if you haven't run a virus scan, is to go ahead and scan your whole computer. Have a look at your scan settings. You can just usually take the defaults here. Then you can start the scan. This will actually take any viruses that are found and spyware off of your computer. So this is the important step that you need to do first. Now you notice down here we have View Virus Vault. If your computer finds viruses, it'll actually add them to the virus vault and isolate them from the rest of your files so as not to do any harm. So if we look at our virus vault, if there's anything to show you, this is where it's going to do it. Okay, and as you can see, we have some stuff in our virus vault here. Okay, as you can see, it's caught some Trojan horses. Okay, so what we can do is we can just empty the vault, or if we just leave them alone, they just sit here without doing any harm. We also have event history up here, and it tells us all the things that have happened during the scans. Okay, so that's your virus vault. Like I say, you can leave them in here because they are isolated, or you can delete them if you're sure that you want to delete them. You can also just pick the ones you want to get rid of, like these Trojan horses. You're not likely to want them around, and then you can just delete those. Okay, so now your computer is protected. You've done a virus scan and you've set it up to run every day, or however often you want to run it, to keep your computer nice and clean. Now there's one more step that we need to do to be sure that we have all of the spyware off. Although AVG spyware will get rid of most of it, and many other virus programs will get rid of most of it, there are some viruses that are extremely hard to remove, and there's only one program that I've found that will do that. And we'll have a look at that next. Now what we want to do is we want to download a piece of software called Super Anti-Spyware. And this really is a super anti-spyware remover. In fact, it is the only spyware program I have found that could delete one of the spywares I had on my computer. I had a spyware that actually made my computer almost come to a complete halt. I was able to find this particular program, download it, and run it, and it did remove that spyware, whereas many other programs wouldn't. So this is very important. Remember, spyware is one thing that can really slow your computer down. So what you want to do is come to the Super Anti-Spyware website, which again is in your resources document, and download it and install it. Once you've got it installed and you bring it up, this is what you see. Now, it actually has some limitations in the free version, but they're not anything you need to worry about. It just won't let it schedule it to run by itself. So every once in a while, you should go ahead and run it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to run to update. So do a check for updates and make sure that you're all up to date. Then after that, just scan your computer, and this will go through and it will look for any spywares on here. So you can perform a quick scan the first time, and you can just pick the drives that you want to scan and then click next, and it starts to scan and it tells you the progress down the side here. So go ahead and scan and let that finish. Make sure that you run this at least every couple of weeks so that you're sure that you're staying clean, or if your computer starts to slow down, you should run this program as well. Once it's complete, it'll tell you if it found anything or not, and as you can see here, we have no problems there. Okay, so that has taken care of any viruses and spyware that are on a computer. If you had any on there, this is going to make a significant difference. Now, the last thing we need to do is do a disk defragmentation to speed things up as well. The last step in our routine maintenance is to do our disk defragmentation. Now, this can be very important and can make a significant difference as well, because it moves your files together so that your disk head doesn't have to seek all over the place to find your files. So what we will use is we'll use OzLogic's disk defrag. Now, the version you see may be different than the one you see on this page by the time you download it, but go ahead and download the most recent version. So just click on download and go ahead and download and install. When you run it first time, this is the screen you'll see. It shows you the file system, the total disk space, the used disk space, and the free disk space. A nice thing about this particular program is that you can actually schedule it to defrag at a certain time, which is nice, so you can automate that process. Okay, so what we do now is we just click next. Okay, and what it's showing us here is the fragmentation of our drive currently. Okay, so you can see the progress down here. So just go ahead and let that run until it's done. Okay, as you can see, our defrag is done, and it tells us here our fragmentation before was 6.42% after 0.4%, and our speed increased by 11%. You can display the report here, and it shows you everything that it did. Okay, so that's all we have to do with that. In the next video, we're going to go over several tweaks that we're going to do to Windows itself to get us some more speed.